To the Living Sexy Radio Network, playing the sexiest music on the planet.
Right now. This guy's supposed to call, so I want to make sure I get it in there. Hi, do I look tired? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, hello, check. Yeah, I probably do look tired. And that's okay, because freaking I am tired.
Told you you were tired?
No, I look tired. I'm talking to myself.
You look tired yourself.
I'm retired. You're right. What? No, I'm not retired. I'm working like a crazy girl. Yeah. Dr. Dave is with us tonight. We're also getting ready to talk to, I could put glasses on and not look as tired.
No,
but
you do that, you look more studious.
yeah, I could look smarter, but then I wouldn't be able to see anything.
No,
That's why he wears glasses.
I wear glasses. Tess makes me wear glasses. That way I don't get asked on dates. Oh, work harder.
That sounded good.
That was super.
Did it work, though? Are you here?
Oh, that was even better.
Answer that for me.
Electronic flatulence.
Answer it. Oh, no.
That was a ring.
I can't answer it. Linda, answer that phone. Put it on hold.
Love your intercom.
The sound of your mind on drugs.
Oh, gosh. Linda, can you answer that? Put it on hold. Can you answer the phone in the studio? Put it on hold. What? Tell me the phone's plugged in.
I can't hear.
God
I mean, I can hear you.
quiet now.
Linda's going away. I can't hear you.
So much fun. Who's Bob? That's what she says.
Who's Bob?
Who's Bob? I keep
Why
trying,
is
Bob.
smiling is the third question.
Why is Bob? No, that was Dick. Tom.
Where's Bob?
Was it Bob? I thought it was Tom.
Where's Bob smiling?
Tom.
Why is Tom smiling? Probably say who's Bob was.
Right? All right, let's see if we can
If
try
Bob's
this again.
smiling, where's
Hi,
Bob?
everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're waiting for our guest, Bob Iback, who will be with us in just a moment.
That's true.
You can't hear that. No, it's gone now because he's probably not going to call back either. Let's see.
What was it that he needed?
Oh, is that what he needs? Call back, Bob. He has. He is one of my.
Yeah.
This is
Call back,
Connections.
bud.
Soft opening. Soft opening.
It's a good thing it's not being recorded.
Soft opening.
Short. Hold on.
This is all.
It is a stop
This is
business.
all.
What a stop.
This is all.
If it's a semicolon, does it mean it only gets half as constipated?
Enjoy the ride, boys.
Semicolon. All right. So I was supposed to be hearing from somebody. You got
Hey.
it? Semicolon.
Marcel Marceau got
Oh yeah,
it. Marcel Marceau spoke.
This is our opening. We're supposed to be talking to Bob Iback for a minute here. So hopefully he'll give us a ring in before we start the show in 3 minutes or something.
We're debating why
He
was smiling.
was calling, and I screwed it up.
Well, you hung up on him.
I did
So if
not
he's
hang up.
listening in-
I couldn't answer it because of the way we have it rigged. Every time. All right, answer it this time.
Yeah, you turned around too fast, and the cellophane came off of the thing holding the connector onto the whatchamacallit. Yes.
Oh, hush. Let's see if it's gonna make sense.
Oh, there it goes.
Bob!
Was that Spark supposed to be there?
I got it. Okay.
Hey, Melissa.
Thanks. Thank you, Linda. Okay. Hey, guys. All right, Bob, how are you?
All right. I know you're busy, so I won't hold you up. I got to do somebody's interviewing me tonight for a newspaper story in about an hour. But I saw what you said.
Mhm.
You have that show on Thursday night, you said, right?
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now, as a matter of fact. So let's do a quick thing here before we go. I'll make it
Or
work.
you want to tape it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Do me a favor. I'm on my cell phone. Let me quickly call you back from my office phone because that sounds so much better.
I think you sound fine, to be honest with you.
You sound very manly, Bob.
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
It does. It sounds fine.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll fix it up. But anyway, we were actually broadcasting right now on Facebook and a bunch of other platforms. So with us right now, we've got Bob Iback, and he has a special message, and it comes with a full-size Rawlings football. Hi, Bob. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I am doing great, Melissa. Nice to be with you. And yeah, I'm excited about this because I know there's a lot of Jacksonville Jaguar fans that have been waiting for Trevor Lawrence to make his home debut, which he'll be doing this coming Sunday against Denver. And he got off to a so-so start in his first game as a pro, but been around the NFL for many years, and I've seen other quarterbacks. You know, it's not an easy transition from going from college to the NFL and dealing with all those sophisticated defenses. But Trevor put up three touchdown passes, and threw for over 332 yards in that game, which they lost to Houston. But I know we wanted to salute him and raise monies for the Jacksonville Jaguars Foundation, which helps out a lot of kids, through the sale of a limited edition, full-size Rawlings football that's priced at $99. They're only going to make 2,021 of these. You'll all get an individually numbered certificate of authenticity, and everything is fully licensed but approved. And in a moment, I'll give out a toll-free number and a website how you can get these, because I believe these will become a very historic piece of sports memorabilia. When you get a kid coming in like this, and in the start of his NFL career, years from now, I think Trevor Lawrence will go down as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And that's saying a lot, because there's been some great ones out there, going back to Peyton Manning, and you go back to Dan Marino and so many others. But I think he's going to be certainly in the top 10 or 12 all time before this is all said and done. Now, what you'll get on this football, everything is embossed. It comes with a numbered certificate of authenticity. Again, only $99, and only 2,021 will ever be made. You'll have a beautiful action image of Trevor Lawrence on one of the panels. His stats, it'll say limited edition. We have on another panel the Jacksonville Jaguars logo, stadium history, and franchise history. And then the last panel has the Jaguars logos, the Trevor Lawrence career highlights from his days at Clemson. And, of course, he was the number one draft pick in the NFL, as most folks know, and his awards that he won in college. So it's a real nice capsule summary of Trevor Lawrence, both from his college days at Clemson and certainly making his debut with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, you can get these full-size Rawlings footballs, again, only $99. You can call 1-800-345-2868. That's 1-800-345-2868. Or just go online. We have a nice website set up. You can see the football there and order it at NICOsports.com. And I'll spell that. It's a little tricky. NIKCO sports.com. Or again, that number, 1-800-345-2868. And Melissa, just in closing, I want to thank you and your audience. We've raised over $3.1 million now for children's charities, and I know we hope to raise thousands of dollars more for the Jacksonville Jaguars Foundation from this really nice football.
Perfect. Bob Ibeck, great idea. 800-345-2868 or nicosports.com with the NIKCOsports.com. Bob, thanks always. You always bring us good gifts, and this one should be pretty nice. Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars. Thanks again, Bob.
Hey, listen, thank you so much, Melissa, and have a great evening, and we'll talk soon.
You got it.
Hey, Melissa?
Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, when will that run Thursday, or will it run tonight so I can let people know?
It'll run Thursday night at 9 o'clock on FLA. All right?
Okay.
And I'll talk.
Very good.
I'll try to get somebody else from the sports station to hook you up, okay? Gotta go.
Okay. Hey, listen, oh, by the way, the sports station I already reached out to Brandon.
Okay,
And,
no worries then.
Over there. And,
All right.
and they're going to have me on Friday.
Okay, good. Gotta go. And we're back. Hi, everybody.
That's live radio for you, even when it's pre-recorded live.
That is live radio. Wow, I have like a ringing in my ears now from that.
Yeah, I have a ringing in my head.
Oh, hush.
You
Okay.
want to buy a football? It's a good one.
It actually did. I have the Tom Brady one
Is that
from
right?
the Bucks.
I
I've
have
got
this
the
little one
Super-
that Sean Hannity threw at me, but it's
Yeah?
much smaller.
I have little ones too, little balls. What?
Yeah, he threw
How
it
did
right
that?
at me.
Huh? Okay, let's do this right here. Whoop, got to turn
I think he
this
was annoyed with me, actually. Yeah.
Live from the Connections Studio Suites, it's Connections. Connections is relationship radio.
Well, hello, everybody. Would you like to buy a football? Actually, you know, Mike, welcome to the show. Actually, got to thank Bob Iback for being patient and Doc for being even more patient. Dr. Klein is with us tonight, and now we've moved from talking about footballs to nutritional supplements.
Yeah,
which
it's about the same thing.
Yeah, well, sometimes they can seem like they're as big as
Yeah, well, I
footballs.
know if you get hit in the face with a football, it feels a lot like you're eating it. So yeah, there you go. So in any event, so with the frivolities of life aside, all right. So what I wanted to do, it's one of those times when I decided to back off on the public health issues, back off on all the fighting and the nonsense, and back off on all of the discourse that we're having
Thank
out
you.
there. Although I could mention it if somebody really wanted
No,
me to.
I prefer.
And just get back to the business of getting healthy. So as a culture, as a country, we spend an awful lot of money on stupid things. Okay, I won't mention, sports. I won't mention, show tunes or whatever the hell it happens to be. But we waste a lot of money, even with the best of intentions of doing good. And one of those things is on alternative medical health issues. So there's almost twice as much money spent on alternative medical health than on traditional. And if you think that insurance premiums and medications and doctor offices are expensive, we spend twice as much money on things like vitamins, minerals, chiropractic, and all kinds of stuff, which may, in fact, if improperly done, can have speckled results. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. So the question tonight is going to be rather uncontroversial, but educational nevertheless. And that's, why do we need nutritional supplementation at all? Why is it necessary?
You'd think we get that from that McDonald's and stuff,
You would-
right?
you
They
would
got the nutritional
No,
chart, Doc.
Yeah, the cereals in the box and the
Yeah,
macaroni and
stuff
cheese.
in boxes are
The
great
stuff
for
in the
you.
boxes, it says so. It says that it's
Says
rich in
it's there.
vitamin C.
No, it says enriched.
Enriched. Yes. Okay. Who's getting enriched? Right. Okay. Look for the company on the company
The
logo. Yeah. So why do we need to do this? And so the reason actually is very simple. Okay, and it's been simple. It's been obvious for about 70 years. So there's nothing new about this. And it boils down, that's a great metaphor, it boils down to this, and that's that the nutrients that were once in our foods
They're gone.
are no longer in our foods.
You're gone.
They're gone. Why are they gone? So if you have to have raw materials of different sorts in order to make things like cars, computers, all it takes is a chip shortage. Wouldn't you know that can happen? And all of a sudden, we wouldn't be able to buy computers. I wouldn't be able to buy those laptops, telephones, cars, refrigerators. These things go on back order if you can't get chips, which is exactly what's happening now. A chip the size of a quarter is going to keep you from buying a new car. That's insane. You have a 3,000-pound piece of equipment that's being held up by less than 4 ounces worth of silicone. And that's the way these things go, because wouldn't you know, those nutrients are not available to your car to be produced. We have just the same type of needs. We need certain amino acids. You don't need just 21 of 23 or 6 of 18 or whatever. You need all of the
7 of
amino
9.
acids, essential amino acids, and the non-essential amino acids for you to produce the proteins in your body. You have to have the essential, that means we don't make them, fatty acids. We have to have vitamins and minerals. These are things called enzyme cofactors, which we're not able to produce. So they're not in our food any longer. And in fact, they haven't really been in our food since the 1940s. So you need to supplement in order to get the basics of growth. When you're ill, those needs actually change. They go up. They don't go down. And when you get older, those needs go up, not down. So just because you think your kid's growing, their needs and demands for these vitamins and minerals actually is about a half or less of what yours is. Or what even and half again of what your mom
them
is.
Yet until we start feeding them the burgers.
We will not have these nutrients in our food for very simple reasons. Why are they not there? Really easy. Minerals are not produced in nature in the way that you think. So in other words, if there is magnesium in the soil and you remove it, it doesn't regenerate. Zinc doesn't regenerate. These sorts of things don't come back. And the only way they do get back into the soil is through volcanic eruption and flooding. So the Mississippi flooding would give you a very fertile Mississippi Valley until we start damming it up. The Nile, very fertile until
the
it was
levee breaks.
dammed up. And then all of a sudden, the nutrition goes away. So in order for the crops to grow, we have to do something.
We'll be right back.
Connections is Relationship Radio.
All these are the a-holes in your neighborhood, in your neighborhood, in your neighborhood. Yeah, these are the a-holes in your neighborhood. They're the a-holes that you meet when you're walking down the street. They're the a-holes that you meet each day.
Welcome back to Connection
Yeah.
Show. We are the people in your neighborhood. I am Melissa Fox, Dr. David Klein from Stages of Life Medical Institute, and tonight on Connections, our relationship radio with a twist is talking about nutritional supplementation and why do we need to do it? I mean, our cereals say they're enriched with 19 this and vitamins and whatnot.
Yeah, 19 marvelous chemicals when your body may need several hundred. Okay, so getting the job done halfway is as good as getting it done not at all. So if you're a gardener, if you understand how farming works, you go out and you actually have to fertilize the land in order for the crop yield to go up. Now, the fertilizers don't necessarily stimulate the plant. They permit the plant to grow at its greatest potential. It's not like giving a plant speed and watching it go faster. It doesn't work that way. You're giving it nitrogen, phosphorus, and things tend to do a little bit better. But then when you get more sophisticated with your gardening, you realize that there are micronutrients that are necessary. So you go out and buy something called Miracle Grow. And then all of a sudden your tomatoes are redder. The blueberries are bluer. The greens are greener and the reds are redder. Everything does better with Miracle Grow. What's Miracle Grow? It's a series of minerals that are not in the soil called micronutrients. So we need the same thing. So when you see those really cool tomatoes coming off the vine with your Miracle Grow, it's going to have better mix of micronutrients than the hothouse ones that you get in the store.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way it goes. So an apple with no flavor has no nutrients.
Exactly.
Okay, a peach that doesn't taste like a peach anymore, and you get those a lot.
Tell me that you don't notice it. I have noticed it for the last 20 years that the flavors have been drained out of our fruit.
They're drained out of it, okay, because the nutrients aren't in the soil. And if the nutrients aren't in the soil, you'd had best find them from someplace. So zinc is a mineral. Okay, you hear a lot about zinc with COVID. You hear a lot about zinc. It used to be for common cold. If you have a cold, use Airborne. Coronavirus, by the way, is a common cold. So what are they doing? They're hawking zinc. Same thing.
Wait, it's a
Why?
corona-free zone. Go on.
1/3 of the population is zinc deficient. 40% is magnesium deficient. So magnesium, calcium, boron, silicon, manganese, magnesium, vanadium, chromium, the list, selenium, the list keeps going on and on and on. Each of these minerals, these are elements you cannot produce in the laboratory. They are not created. That's just the name of the game. They exist. Now, how were they produced originally? Big Bang Theory. We can get into these sorts of things at a later date. But the long and short of it is that we have as much selenium on our planet now as we have for the last 400 million years, and probably a lot longer. So selenium is picked up in groundwater, selenites. So in order for you to get enough selenium, you have to have the right kind of mineral water. But here in Florida, places in Texas, okay, we're not going to talk about Louisiana because the stuff you pick up down there is ungodly in the groundwater. But here, because it goes through a sandstone aquifer or a coral aquifer, we're not picking up the minerals that we need. Even in Appalachia, they're able to get many of these nutrients that we don't get here.
Yeah.
Imperial Valley of California, the fruits and vegetables are marvelous because of the runoff from the Rockies and the Sierras.
Oh, yeah. No,
So
I
we don't have mountains here. We have landfills. Okay, so we have these tall piles of dirt and debris that leak and leach toxins, not nutrients.
You think they're just ways to divide the highway.
Well, they are. That way you can't see the garbage coming in from the other side. So why do we need it? And the answer is very simple. These are the parts of the building blocks of life and health. When you're vanadium and chromium deficient, you will develop diabetes. If you're copper deficient, you will develop aneurysms and hernias. If you're iron deficient, you will develop anemia. Selenium deficiency leads to thyroid disease, and I could keep going on and on and on and bore you to tears.
No.
What's important is that you need to take the appropriate steps to keep from getting sick. Wouldn't you know?
Yeah.
All right. So how do we do this? What I prefer to do is to start with the basics. You start with those things that an adolescent and a young adult might need. And so we start with a vitamin and mineral mixture with certain micronutrients thrown in for good measure and essential fatty acids. And the reason is that even the young adults are not facile enough. They're not able, they're not strong enough in terms of the gastrointestinal tract to absorb these things when they don't exist down the hatch. So we use a product called Down to Basics. Okay, the one I prefer is without iron, unless you're a menstruating girl, in which case we use the one with
Are you
iron.
a menstruating girl? I've often wondered.
Because you lose iron in your
I meant,
menstruation.
are you? I know
Now,
that.
if you're a fighter, let's say you're a gangbanger, then I would recommend the with iron in case you get shot.
Oh.
Okay, so what else do? We use the essential fatty acids because grossly deficient in our diet are EPA, DHA, and ALA. These are three essential fatty acids that we need to create hormones that run us. And then I leave it there. Do you need these goofy antioxidants? Not at 20 and 30 years of age.
No.
Do you need fancy growth factors? The answer is no, you don't. You might benefit from them, but you don't need them. And then we start looking at how do you improve, how do you change it, and what do you do to adjust it as you get older? What adjustments do you make for gender? So women and men, oddly enough, are chemically very, very different. We read different things, we watch different things, we use different words, and wouldn't you know it, we have different metabolic needs. So it does make a difference. Okay, so you can, if your body says male, it says male. If it says female, it says female. Women really are wired differently genetically than men, and all guys know this.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, and then last but not least, you factor in familial proclivities. And what this means is what sorts of things run in your family. Well, I have colon cancer. I have heart disease. There are lots of these things.
Sure.
And so then you make whatever necessary adjustments that you need to do to that situation. So at stages of life, that's exactly what we do. We bring people in. The problem is that there's only one of me. And I can only see one person at a time. I may be able to follow 3 or 4 at a time using my nurse practitioners and PAs. But it's limited by my attention span, which is that of a gnat, I've been told. So what I'm trying to do is to put together a program that will allow me and allow you the opportunity of picking my brain without me being there, or at least not in person. I've got lots of audio files, the visuals, the AV stuff, to walk people through it. But fundamentally, to make this cost effective, that means inexpensive, affordable, that means make it reasonable, and then make it very, very, let's just say pure, pharmaceutical grade, because a lot of the garbage that's out there really isn't worth taking.
Yeah. Let's get so much filler. And,
Well, not even just filler.
And legally filler.
Somebody brought this thing in today for, it might have been yesterday actually, brought in a detox. It was a Chinese liver detox, and you couldn't tell what was in it. Proprietary blend of Chinese herbs. Oh, okay. How's that going to work out for you? If it's drywall and if it's that polybutylene tubing, that leaked on everybody's houses, let's just go ahead and throw some more chemicals at you and see where you leak.
Now,
Were you
supposed to ingest this or rub this on the bottom of your feet? I forget how
I'm not
this
so sure.
detox
I would think that's better luck to take a pinch of it and throw it over your shoulder and hope to hit one of your
Remember
enemies
those,
in the eye.
The ones they stuck on the bottom of your feet and it was supposed to drain all the toxins
where did those go?
Look how dirty dirty. It is. Look at all the toxins. I'm like, you've been walking around barefoot for an hour, and then you put that on.
Oh no, but the whole thing is
such
that there's a
crap.
lot of this stuff that's out there. If you want to have some fun, and I used to do this until I realized I was talking to myself, and that was I would send my patients to Life magazine, Look magazine, Time magazine. Now you have to go to the antique store to even find magazines and look at some of the stories and advertisements in there for all of these miracle cures. And where did they go? Oh, you can find them in the antique stores on the,
Sure.
they call them quack meds.
Well, most all of them were either cocaine or alcohol based.
No, those are the good ones.
Well, I know
Yeah.
those are the ones that
Well,
work.
those are the ones that worked. Yeah. No, I'm thinking more along the lines, of the geritols and whatnot. You don't
gosh.
see too much geritol anywhere, although the alcohol in there, they say,
well, that
was
was
a
like
good thing.
71% alcohol.
Yeah, Grandpa knew what his geritol was all about.
Let me get that.
So, what do we do? Okay, so we're going to get a little bit more, let's just say focused with regards to how we're going to handle our nutraceutical health, how we're going to spend our money. You don't need to spend $100 a month, for desiccated, that means dried fruits and vegetables and green and pink capsules that cost you $100 a month as advertised
And
on
they're
TV.
a waste. What about beets?
Waste. Oh, beets. Yeah, I love beets. Borscht is marvelous.
Dried beets.
Yeah, beet. They call them red beet eggs. The Pennsylvania Dutch know how to use beets.
Oh, yeah.
You know something? It's cheap. Beets are very, very inexpensive source of these phytochemicals. They're very, very good. Do you need to spend $30 to $50 desiccating? The answer is no. No. Chop them up, put them in your salad, and then save the $5.
I was always not a fan of pickled beets, though.
I love pickled
I
beets.
I know. So many people do.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. That and 3-bean salad. I'm done.
Well, and-
hey, do you
Well,
still,
you don't like your Pennsylvania.
you
Dutch
get
background.
sulfites from the ground, though, and that's in our wine, and that's no good.
Well,
Ever
no, there are a
since
lot
World
of
War
things.
II.
There are a lot of things that are good. The mercury really kind of I find to be somewhat offensive,
Yeah.
and the lead.
Oh, yeah.
But that being said, we
break.
have just got to do a little bit better.
We're going to do a little business, if you will. Support our sponsors like Stages of Life Medical
Especially
Institute.
Stages of Life.
Yes, our big sponsor. Stages of Life radioaswell.com. We'll be right back.
Connections is Relationship Radio.
I don't think that's how you spell gherkins, Alex.
GRKN?
Apparently, we're not TV pretty.
GH?
We're
like
terrific.
Gurkhas.
Laugh with Connections, weeknights at 10 Eastern on the Connections Radio Network at connectionshow.com.
It's a true story. It really is. Hey,
As opposed to the other ones? Oh,
yeah, well,
okay.
you know,
I'm just saying.
It's just a couple of us. Yeah, Alex says he doesn't like gherkins. He's watching us from over in the UK, where apparently they spell gherkins like that.
Oh, is that right?
You know,
Well,
really
it's probably
gherkins.
French. He's just trying to pretend he's British.
Oh, cut it out. I don't think the Brits and the French are all that friendly sometimes.
That can be. It depends.
True. So we are talking about
Nutraceuticals.
Nutritional supplements, also known as nutraceuticals. You know, that word has now made it into the auto word checks.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's
it's-
because you've typed it so many times
So
that it shows
many
up.
times that it is. It is exactly what's going on. So we started off the show talking about football. No, wait. That's a true
We did-
story.
yeah, we did
We
start talking
actually
about
did.
football.
But now we need to talk about a little more in depth about what kind of nutritional supplementations we need and what's out there, right?
Yeah, and it's largely age and stage of life driven. So what we're going to do, okay, each week we're going to go ahead and we're going to take it from soup to nuts. So we'll start off with the basics. That'll be tonight. From there, we're going to go ahead and take it to what do you do at middle age? Third thing is what do you do at old age? And then the last thing is going to be what are the differences between men and women? And then if I don't bore you completely, we'll start looking at some disease states.
Be a fourth in a series.
Because, yeah, what this is you're trying to put together a nutraceutical program called a do-it-yourself plan for health.
Right.
All right? That's what this is. It's do-it-yourself. I'm minimally involved here. I'm going to try to steer you in the right direction. And if I do a good job, you'll do well. If I don't do a good job, you may not do as well. But we're going to piece it together like so many jigsaw puzzle pieces as opposed to stacking a bunch of cards on top of each other like in 52-card pickup. So it minimizes waste and it increases the dosage of certain things when the disease state mandates it, like diabetes. So a normal person, a healthy person, an average adult to middle-aged person only needs about 35 to 50 milligrams of zinc. 180 to 220 micrograms of selenium, and maybe 200 micrograms of vanadium, or pardon me, of chromium, 4 milligrams of vanadium.
Gotcha.
But if you develop diabetes, insulin resistance, or these sorts of problems involving insulin receptor, you need more chromium, more vanadium, more alpha lipoic acid than you do otherwise. So you add a product in there that contains those pieces to be taken in supplementation to your supplement. Minimal waste, wouldn't you know? So what do you do if you're a chick, female, girl? Call it what you want. In the UK, ma'am.
Magpie.
All right? Yeah.
Bird.
So what do you do? Okay, those individuals, depending upon their age and health conditions, may need to have their estrogen diminished. Why? PMS. Nobody enjoys being around a girl with PMS. So there are things that you can take nutraceutically that can modulate that. You take them on an as necessary basis. Didn't you know? Should you know that vitamin D is an estrogen receptor blocker?
D3?
So you can take D3, vitamin D3, to actually temper an ill-tempered woman with PMS.
How much? I like to sneak a few
5,000
here.
micrograms.
Okay, just
5,000. No, 5,000 IUs.
Okay.
Yeah, and so how does this
International
work?
units.
Yeah, it's like 125.
Something like that.
But it's 5,000 is where you really need to be with it. 125 milligrams is what it is.
All right.
So this is the way these things operate, is that you can get more than one bang for your buck for these things, but the dosage may change. How do you deal with osteoporosis? How do you prevent osteoporosis? Because you really can't treat it using the bisphonates. All that does is slow things up. So what do? Vitamin D3, vitamin K2, and strontium. Where do you get strontium? Does anybody know what strontium is? Strontium is a mineral. Okay, it is a mineral. It's a metal, believe it or not. But what it does in the body is it acts like rebar to the bone. It holds the calcium salts. Calcium hydroxyapatite, to be precise. It holds those salts in matrix, very much like rebar does to concrete. So when do you need strontium? Actually, you need it at a very young age. It begins when you're a teenager, but you're sucking it efficiently out of the water. But as you get older, you become less and less efficient, and then wouldn't you know, by the time you hit about 40 years of age, it starts to become measurable with regards to osteoporosis. Why don't men develop osteoporosis the same way women do, you might ask? The joke is this, is that the leading problem is decrease in estradiol. Decrease in estrogens as you hit 40 years of age leads to decrease in absorption of strontium, and men at the age of 40 start having higher estrogens than women, and they develop osteoporosis far more slowly as a result. So there are some cool things about disease. Man, disease is very, very cool.
You'd have been proud of me
especially
the
in
other
the
day.
UK.
As I was talking with one of my other doctors, because you shop around. Just kidding.
You should.
I know. And he's, what medications are you taking? Boy, I reeled off every one of them nutraceuticals, and he was like, what? Really? I said, Altern.
Yeah.
I was like, hyperexfoliate, fish oil, vitamin D3, la 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 la. Went through the whole thing. What else am I taking?
What else are you taking?
Quercetin, berber. All of that.
And it's interesting. So, and what does it do for you? So one of my favorite things is a $4 a month
Makes my urine a
nutraceutical.
little yellow. Oh, that's the B.
That's the B9. That's the folic acid. But in dosages of 5,000 micrograms, which if you're in the business, you'll realize is 5 times the prescription strength, which for reasons that remain unclear to me is over the counter, $4 a month. It reverses plaquing in the arteries. Okay, so why would you want to do that necessarily? So I'm 67 years old, right? I'm an old guy, kind of, sort of. But my calcium score, so if you're a doctor or a nurse, my calcium score is 0.
What?
No detectable hardening of the arteries in my heart. None.
Good. I'm
0.
glad.
Nada. Nick. 0. And it's from the hyperfolate I've been taking for the past 15 years. My dad passed away when he was 92. Didn't really have much of a problem either. He died of MRSA, as it turns out.
Kathy's watching us on the Facebook live feed, I believe, from Nantucket, Massachusetts.
We love Nantucket.
My island girlfriend. She says, I'm 64. I take Centrum Silver for women 50 plus, zinc 50 milligrams, and D3 50 mcgs. Do you think that these are good?
No. Do you want the long answer?
The short answer was no. I think the long answer is kind of no
Okay,
as
for
well.
starters, when you're taking a pill that
Let's
bounces.
talk about Centrum first of all. Have
Well, I
you
wanna
ever
use-
gone in the latrine afterwards and seen what's
see the
floating?
pills look like. Yeah. Well, here's the
They
problem.
don't
Okay, I'm not going
digest.
to badmouth anybody else's product,
No,
but if you look at what's in it, okay, and we only need one of these a day to get the job done.
How is
okay?
that?
What is the moiety? What is the type of magnesium that's in there? It has to be inorganic, something like magnesium oxide or carbonate, in order to fit, because it's a smaller molecule. Those don't absorb. They're wasted. That is chalk, okay, is really what
you
you're doing.
almost have to look to see if it's first of all water soluble.
It has to be
has to be.
water soluble. If it's not water soluble, it's not going to be
So
absorbed.
those Centrum Silvers, you might as
Yeah,
well just throw them in the
just throw 'em-
toilet without wasting the time going through your
what
system.
you're doing is you're making yourself feel better by taking something that turns your urine a little bit yellow-orange from the thiamine. So if you want to do that, just go buy some thiamine. It's actually cheaper. So no, I'm not a big fan of that. The vitamin D should be soy-free. That means no soybean oil, no soy lecithin.
And 50 microgram? That doesn't seem right.
Well, what you're looking for is 5,000 IUs.
5,000 IUs, which is actually
125.
It's usually the one capsule is 5,000.
One capsule's fine. Well, they come in 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s, and 50s. Okay, so the capsules don't really tell you as much. But what you're looking is 5,000 IUs. And when you take vitamin D, it has to be taken with a fish oil or it won't absorb. Because vitamin D is a steroidal hormone that's lipid, that means oil soluble. So you take it, it won't dissolve in the water. So it's one of those sorts of things that has to be taken specially.
Okay.
So no, what I would be looking at, okay, would be a product that we have, and whether you buy it or not is your business. I don't really care at this point in my life, but I want you to go on stagesoflifevitamins.com and look up Down to Basics Without Iron and just read through what's in it and then compare it to what you have in front of you. Compare it. Understand that the dosage that it takes to get what's on that label into you on a daily basis is 4 capsules. That's 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, typically. And then see how that stands up against what you're taking. And then you'll understand, because that is the basic load of vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients that are necessary for a 20 or 30-year-old.
Oh.
All right? And then if you add a fish oil capsule, heart and soul, read what's in it. Don't buy it. Buy somebody else's. Doesn't matter. But take one of those, the equivalent in the morning and evening, and then you're going to get the essential fatty acids that you need. From there, we start looking at disease prevention or gender specificity or disease proclivity or age issues. So that's the process that we're going to go through with you. So today is going to be the first step. If this were the Dave Ramsey show, this is the first baby step. Okay, well, there's no baby step involved here. You already know how to walk.
Right.
Okay, what we're going to try to do is keep you from stumbling. So what we're going to do is we're going to be very, very mindful of keeping the price reasonable. Why? Because you have kids you have to put through college. You have an alcohol habit you have to feed. You have all kinds of problems. Okay,
I like to eat.
you got all kinds of reasons to spend your money. So we have to make sure that we don't waste.
All right, Alex, stay tuned. We got a question from Alex again across the pond.
I love Alex.
He's a good dude. I appreciate it. He's a big fan. One of our other fans over there in Paris is not checked in yet today, but we are global.
Yeah, we insult everybody.
Yeah, worldwide.
Yeah, we're good
nobody's
at
safe.
insulting people.
Connections is Relationship Radio.
What are we waiting for? Let's get this party started.
East Connections.
Welcome to Crazy World.
Yes,
Connect.
for 2. Tickets for
Yes.
2.
Yeah, and for our friends in France, bonsoir.
Oh.
Okay,
Now,
might as well
bonsoir.
because it's just a little bit late for those folks right
Right.
now. If you're awake,
It is,
in
yeah. I mean,
France,
it's late.
You should be asleep.
Really.
Okay, just saying.
I mean, let's be honest.
It's
there's
a work day
time-
tomorrow.
Time difference here.
Uh-huh.
But Alex says he's on the waiting list. They're bringing him in today. His blood was at 5.5.
It's hemoglobin probably.
Yeah.
So it's a crit of 15,
9
16 and a
a.m.
half.
It was 9.5, and then it went really high, and then he had some toast and cheese and tea. As you can tell, again, we're talking about a Brit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean
Beans and toast.
Yeah, there we go.
and the Weetabix, there it was. I haven't heard of Weetabix since I was a kid, because of course, Brits and Scots, we're all right. Let's see, 8.9, but I'm fine. I'm on sertraline tablets. That made me put on weight. Dude.
Sertraline, probably.
Yeah.
So he's taking an antidepressant there, which will put weight on about anybody.
Yeah. Said I was walking, doing 100K for the month, but every hour walking, I got out of breath, and I'll be 29 next month. I'm not happy. I got hypoglycemia, and I'm still trying to learn about it.
All right. Okay. Hypoglycemia is sometimes a pre-diabetic condition, and here's why. What leads the indicator with regards to diabetes is not blood sugar going up. It's insulin going up. So as the insulin receptor starts to become, let's say, dysfunctional, then the insulin level has to go up in order to maintain a normal or a within reasonable range blood sugar. As it continues to break, the insulin continues to go up. But then periodically, if you don't feed that machine, your blood sugar will plummet. Eventually, that goes away happily, and then you end up really developing diabetes. It's not the best of all
Said
worlds.
he's had it since birth.
Yeah, well, okay. Then dehydration can do it. We need to look at all kinds of different interesting things that can lead to those sorts of circumstances. It would be nice to get a hormone panel on him to see where he is. It'd be nice to know what his cortisol's doing. It'd be nice to know what his ACTH is doing.
Yeah,
nice
it's a really hard to do a diagnosis across the pond while
I
even
have
a
patients
televisit. But
I have patients in the UK now. We actually do that.
Now, Kathy wants to be your patient. She's in Nantucket, so
That's easier because of the time zone issue.
Yeah, that we're in the same time zone. But telehealth visits are available. It's just a little more complicated.
Yeah, and see, so here we're in Central Florida. So New York is a half a time zone ahead of us.
They've always been just a little
bit ahead. Yes, they work so quickly there.
So we are talking about you know what?
Nutraceutical. Okay, there we are.
I'm trying to say nutritional supplements, not nutraceuticals. That's where the problem arises, Dr. Klein.
Splitting hairs you are.
Yes, I am. Parsing them. Stages of life vitamins is really your jumping off point tonight. Back to basics, with or without iron. If you're a bleeder, with the iron.
Down to basics is what we call a pedestal product. So it sells for about $22 a month.
But you have like these bargains on stuff too.
Well, we do that because when people buy stuff, in bulk, that means like
you
3
sell
bottles.
Like 3 of them for like $60.
It
You almost get
15-20% off
or free.
Why? Okay.
Why not?
Why not? It's exactly correct. I earn my living as a physician. The nutraceutical stuff I do for grins as much as anything else.
But why not help people get healthy? I mean, make it accessible.
Well, don't you think that should be your principal reason for working?
Stop it making sense like you do. What?
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I should fall into line with the rest of them, and just chunk it out there. Here's a pill, go home.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah.
Take a pill,
so
go
that's
home.
really what it boils down to. So down to basics is where we typically start because it is a value play. It gets you about 80% of what most people need straight out of the chute for, what does it work out to? 10 pounds a month, right?
About right.
Yeah, $22. Yeah. So it's not a bad thing.
I forget if the pound is more or less.
I thought it was two. Was it 2.2? Yeah. Okay. It's been a while since I've been in the UK.
Yeah, since we've been able to transfer currency through. Yeah.
No, actually, it's been a while since I've been able to transfer my butt across the Atlantic.
Oh.
So, then when it comes to things like fish oil, and this is one of my most favorite things. Well, this stuff here, this is from the North Atlantic. Now, that fellow in the UK knows something that most North Americans don't know. And that's that there was another battle fought, that we don't even consider. Well, there was the Battle of the Atlantic, lots of U-boats.
The Brits were in Long Island for the
Long
longest
Island,
time.
yeah.
They're like, we have this right here. We're not leaving this. That's the whole premise of Hamilton, I think.
Yeah, there we go. So we might as well bastardize our own history. But
Right.
when those U-boats went down, especially in the North Atlantic, especially in those fjords, and many of them did, the lead in those batteries, those things were diesel with lead batteries, so they could submerge. So that lead had to go to someplace. So there's an awful lot of lead sitting on the bottom of shallow ocean beds. That gets into the food supply. So when you go to get your fish, going to the North Atlantic makes no sense at all. Where do you go? where nobody else goes. The South Atlantic.
South, yeah.
There's nothing there.
The fish are a little different.
The fish are a little different. They speak with an accent,
Stop.
but they don't have the heavy metals in them.
Right.
So when we do our Heart and Soul, which is a fish oil product, it's distilled 6 times, it has a basis that has essentially no lead or mercury in it.
Wow, it's
We
distilled
distilled
one
it 6
more time than my
times.
vodka.
6 times. Well, it's distilled as much as my vodka.
Okay, just checking. Potato,
so,
rice.
But most of the fish oils that people get are distilled 3 times. They smell fishy. They
Yes,
smell bad.
you burp.
So you keep distilling them. They become more and more concentrated. The proteins are pulled out as well as the heavy metals, which should be gone by the 3rd distillation.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a higher quality product. And what does it cost? Again, $22 a month.
Yeah.
So, but what a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing these things, that is how you have to look at this. In the UK, they have a much harder time getting these products than we do in the US.
Wonder why.
Because their government is more advanced than ours. Okay, so the progressives want us to be more like that.
Parliament.
So ask them how hard it is with the Codex Alimentarius, okay, which is their the way the rules and regs go. Try to get these things yourself. You can't. So we have people that actually have to bootleg these products into the UK.
That's just terrible.
It is the darndest thing. This is you would think that you were shipping cocaine. In fact, it's probably easier to FedEx cocaine than it is to get nutraceuticals into the UK.
But we digress.
But yeah, ask him if I'm wrong. We try getting stuff in there, and it's a catch as
Alex
catch
is
can.
too busy saying, "Can't we catch the fish halfway? Wouldn't it taste like a strawberry, or at least better?"
I like the way he thinks.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's
well,
that
where do you-
glucose
where do
level's
you
gone
pick-
a little skewy.
When you go fishing, where do you typically fish? It's going to be on the continental shelf and off of reefs.
Oh, yeah.
This is shallow water.
Bad
okay,
idea.
and
You got
this
to
is
go
where
deep up to the caps, man.
This is where the ship sank. You with me? They didn't sink into the Mariana Trench.
You got to get way up there in the in Nova Scotia, up in the Finland, Newfoundland, up in the caps where it's really deep and really moves a lot of water.
And nice and cold.
Yes, and very cold.
Very cold water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, makes the best
fish
beer.
up there. Yeah, you go. I know these things. He says we're short of food supply, which would not surprise me because a lot of people, and especially in the UK, I've always heard that they don't necessarily even know where their food comes from, which is a big problem here. We know it comes from the grocery store.
Yeah, there we go.
So this is part 1 in a 4-part series.
Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and publish these sorts of things for you so you'll be able to pick up the David Ramsey / David Klein step 1, baby step, on how you get what you get.
There are no baby steps. Get healthy. Do it with us, and we'll do this one again very shortly. Hey, Doc, say goodbye. Good night.
You have a good one, and thank you for listening.
See you.
Laughing time is over.
There you have it, boys. Case closed.
You've been listening to Connections. Find tonight's show and replays of our past shows on connectionsshow.com.